And shalom. Welcome back to Cover with Jeremy Pyers. And that's me. So, today is, what is it? Part 7 of Jubilees. Man, so many parts. I think we're about halfway through it or so. Yeah, maybe a little over halfway. I'll have to double check, but just so much in this book alone, and it's amazing, amazing. Everything we've read in it, like I said before, it lines up with scriptures. Absolutely, 100%. Alright, so welcome everybody, and let's get started. So we left off at chapter 17 here. And the first year of the 5th week, Yitzhak was weaned in this jubilee, and Abraham made a great banquet in the 3rd month, on the day his son Yitzhak was weaned. And Ishmael the son of Hagar, the Mitzri, was before the face of Abraham, excuse me, his father, in his place. And Abraham rejoiced and blessed Elohim, because he had seen his sons, and had not died childless. And he remembered the words which he had spoken to him on the day on which Lot had parted from him. And he rejoiced because Yahweh had given him seed upon the earth to inherit the earth. And he blessed with all his mouth the Creator of all things. And Sarah saw Ishmael playing and dancing, and Abraham rejoicing with great joy. And she became jealous of Ishmael, and said to Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman will not obey her with my son Yitzhak, not be heir with my son Yitzhak. And the thing was grievous in Abraham's sight, because his maidservant and because of his son, that he should drive them from him. And Elohim said to Abraham, Let it not be grievous in your sight, because of the child, and because of the bondwoman, and all that Sarah has said unto you. Hearken to her words, and do them. For in Yitzhak shall your name and seed be called. But as for the son of this bondwoman, I will make him a great nation, because he is of your seed. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and took bread and a bottle of water, and placed them on the shoulders of Hagar and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the bottle was spent, and the child thirsted, and was not able to go on, and fell down. And his mother took him, and cast him under an olive tree, and went and sat down over against him, at the distance of a bow shot. For she said, Let me not see the death of my child. And as she sat, she wept. And an angel of Elohim, one of the holy ones, said unto her, Why weep you, Hagar? Arise, take the child, and hold him in your hand, for Elohim has heard your voice, and has seen the child. And she opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled her bottle with water, and she gave it to her child to drink. And she arose and went towards the wilderness of Haran. And the child grew and became an archer, and Elohim was with him. And his mother took him, a woman from among the daughters of the Mitzrayim. And she bore him a son, and he called his name Nevaioth. For she said, Yahweh was nigh to me when I called upon him. And it came to pass in the 7th week, in the 1st year thereof, in the 1st month of this jubilee, on the 12th of this month, there were voices in heaven regarding Abraham, that he was faithful in all that he told them, and that he loved Yahweh, and that in every affliction he was faithful. And the prince Mastema came and said before Elohim, Behold, Abraham loves Yitzhak his son, and he delights in him above all things else. Bid him to offer him as an ascending smoke offering on the altar, and he will see if he will do this command, and you will know if he is faithful in everything wherein you do try him. And Yahweh knew that Abraham was faithful in all his afflictions. So he had tried him through his country and with famine, and he tried him with the wealth of kings, and tried him again through his woman, when she was torn from him, and with circumcision, and had tried him through Ishmael and Hagar, his maidservant, when he sent them away. And in everything wherein he has tried him, he was found faithful, and his soul was not impatient, and he was not slow to act, for he was faithful and a lover of Yahweh. Alright. Hey, shalom, Melissa. Welcome. Yeah, so as it says here, everything in Abraham was tried in, he was found faithful. That's why we go through trials, 'cause it's to refine us and see if we're going to remain faithful. It's all a test. Alright, chapter 18. And Elohim said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here am I. And he said, Take your Yachid, who you love, even Yitzhak, and go into the high country, and offer him on one of the mountains, which I will point out unto you. And he rose early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took his 2 young men with him, and Yitzhak his son, and clave the wood of the ascending smoke offering. And he went to the place on the 3rd day, and he saw the place afar off. And he came to a well of water, and he said to his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad shall go yonder, and when we have worshipped, we shall come again to you. And he took the wood of the ascending smoke offering, and laid it on Yitzhak his son. And he took his hand, and the fire, and the knife, and they went both of them together to that place. And Yitzhak said to his father, Father, and he said, Here am I, my son. And he said unto him, Behold the fire, and the knife, and the wood, but where is the sheep for the ascending smoke offering, father? And he said, Elohim will provide himself a sheep for an ascending smoke offering, my son. And he drew near to the place of the mount of Elohim. And he built an altar, and he placed the wood on the altar, and bound Yitzhak his son, and placed him on the wood which was upon the altar, and stretched forth his hand to take up the knife to slay Yitzhak his son. And I stood before him, before the prince Mastema, and Yahweh said, Bid him not to lay his hand on the lad, nor do anything to him, for I have shown that he fears Yahweh. And I called to him from heaven, and said unto him, Abraham, Abraham. And he was terrified, and said, Behold, here am I. And I said to him, Lay not your hand upon the lad, neither do you anything to him, for now I have shown that you fear Yahweh. I have not withheld your son, your firstborn son, from me. And the prince Mistema was put to shame. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, a ram caught by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it for an ascending smoke offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called that place Yahuwah Yireh, so that it is said, Yahuwah has seen, that is Mount Sion. And Yahuwah called Abraham by his name a second time from heaven, as he caused us to appear to speak to him in the name of Yahuwah. So if you notice here, it explains it was in Mount Sion that this all happened. Pretty amazing. And he said, by myself have I sworn, says Yahuwah, because you have done this thing, and have not withheld your son, your Yahid, from me, that in blessing I will bless you, and in multiplying I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your seed shall inherit the cities of its enemies, and in your seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Because you have obeyed my voice, and I have shown to all that you are faithful unto me, in all that I have said unto you. Go in peace. And Abraham went to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt by the well of oath. And he celebrated this feast every year, 7 days with joy, and he called it the feast of Yahuwah, according to the 7 days during which he went and returned in peace. Accordingly, it has been ordained and written on the heavenly tablets regarding Yasharel and his seed, that they should observe this feast 7 days with the joy of feast. Pretty amazing. I believe we've already been over this, but Abraham was the first to celebrate Sukkot. That was actually in the previous chapters. Alright, man. This one's going kind of quick. I think these are shorter chapters is why. Alright, chapter 19. And in the first year of the first week of the 42nd Jubilee, Abraham returned and dwelt opposite Hebron, that is, Kiryat Arba, 2 weeks of years. And in the first year of the 3rd week of this Jubilee, in the days of the life of Sarah were accomplished. And she died in Chevron. And, excuse me. And Abraham went to mourn over her and bury her. And we tried him to see if his Ruach were patient. And he were not indignant to the words of his mouth. And he was found patient in this, and was not disturbed. For in patience of the Ruach he conversed with the children of Heth, to the intent that they should give him a place in which to bury his dead. And Yahuwah gave him grace before all who saw him. And he besought in gentleness the sons of Heth. And they gave him the land of the double cave over against Mamre, that is Hebron, for 400 pieces of silver. And they besought him, saying, We shall give it to you for nothing. But he would not take it from their hands for nothing, for he gave the price of the place, the money in full, and he bowed down before them twice. And after this he buried his dead in the double cave. And all the days of the life of Sarah were 127 years, that is, 2 Jubilees, 4 weeks, and 1 year. These are all the days of the years of the life of Sarah. This is the 10th trial wherewith Abraham was tried, and he was found faithful, patient in the Ruach. And he said not a single word regarding rumor in the land, how Elohim had said that he would give it to him, and to his seed after him. And he begged a place there to bury his dead, for he was found faithful, and it was recorded on the heavenly tablets as the friend of Elohim. And in the 4th year thereof, he took a woman for his son Yitzhak, and her name was Rivkah, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, the brother of Abraham, the sister of Laban, and daughter of Bethuel. And Bethuel was the son of Milcah, who is the woman of Nahor, the brother of Abraham. And Abraham took to himself a 3rd woman, and her name was Keturah, from among the daughters of his household servants, for Hagar had died before Sarah. And she bore him 6 sons, Zimran, Yokshan, Midian, Yitzbak, Shuach, in the 2 weeks of years. And in the 6th week, in the 2nd year thereof, Rivkah bore to Yitzhak 2 sons, Yaakov and Esau. And Yaakov was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce, a man of the field, and hairy, and Yaakov dwelt in tents. And the youths grew, and Yaakov learned to write, but Esau did not learn, for he was a man of the field, and a hunter, and he learned war, and all his deeds were fierce. And Abraham loved Yaakov, but Yitzhak loved Esau. And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau, and he knew that in Yaakov should his name and seed be called. And he called Rivkah, and gave commandment regarding Yaakov, for he knew that she too loved Yaakov more than Esau. And he said unto her, My daughter, watch over my son Yaakov, for he shall be in my stead on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and for the glory of the whole seed of Shem. For I know that Yahweh will choose him to be a people for possession unto himself, above all peoples that are upon the face of the earth. And behold, Yitzhak my son loves Esau more than Yaakov. But I see that you truly love Yaakov, and still further to your kindness to him. Let your eyes be upon him in love, for he shall be a blessing unto us on the earth, from henceforth unto all generations of the earth. Let your hands be strong, and let your heart rejoice in your son, Yaakov, for I have loved him far beyond all my sons. He shall be blessed forever, and and his seed shall fill the whole earth. If a man can number the sand of the earth, his seed also shall be numbered. And all the blessings wherewith Yahweh has blessed me, and my seed shall belong to Yaakov, and his seed always. And in his seed shall my name be blessed, and the name of my fathers, Shem, and Noah, Hanok, and Mahalalel, Enosh, Sheth, and Adam. And these shall serve to lay the foundations of the heaven, and to strengthen the earth, and to renew all the luminaries which are in the expanse. And he called Yaakov before the eyes of Rivkah his mother, and kissed him, and blessed him, and said, Yaakov, my Yahid, whom my soul loves, may Elohim bless you from above the expanse, and may he give you all the blessings wherewith he blessed Adam, and Hanok, and Noah, and Shem, and all the things of which he told me, and all the things which he promised to give me. May he cause to cleave to you and to your seed forever, according to the days of heaven above the earth. And the Rukath of Metzima shall not rule over you, or over your seed, to turn you from Yahuwah, who is your Elohim, from henceforth forever. And may Yahuwah Elohim be a father to you, and you the firstborn son, and to the people always. Go in peace, my son. And they both went forth together from Abraham. And Rivkah loved Yaakov with all her heart, and with all her soul, and very much more than Esau. But Yitzhak loved Esau much more than Yaakov. Pretty interesting. But it just gives a lot more information and context in the story that's in Genesis. That's basic. That's why this book is also called the Little Genesis. Just because it explains all the stories that are in Genesis in context and detail and depth. I think 20 is the last one we're going to read for tonight, and then we're going to stop for right there. I know it's a shorter one tonight. But doing 3 videos this week kind of like took it out of me. I don't know if I have it in me to do a whole another hour video. But yeah, we'll stop after chapter 20 here. And in the 42nd Jubilee, in the 1st year of the 7th week, Abraham called Ishmael and his 12 sons, and Yitzhak and his 2 sons, and the 6 sons of Keturah and their sons. And he commanded them that they should observe the way of Yahuwah, that they should work in righteousness and love each his neighbor, and not act on this manner amongst all men, that they should each so walk with regard to them, as to do judgment and righteousness on the earth, that they should circumcise their sons according to the covenant which he had made with them, and not deviate to the right or to the left, all the paths which Yahuwah has commanded us, that we should guard ourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, and renounce from among us all fornication and uncleanness. And if any woman or maid commit fornication amongst you, burn her with fire, and let them not commit fornication with her after their eyes, and their heart, and let them not take to themselves women from the daughters of Canaan, for the seed of Canaan will be rooted out of the land. And he told them of the judgment of the Nephilim, and the judgment of Sodomim, and how they had been judged on account of their wickedness, and had died on the account of their fornication and uncleanness, and mutual corruption through fornication. And guard yourselves from all fornication and uncleanness, from all pollution of your sin, lest ye make our name a curse, and your whole life a hissing, and all your sons to be destroyed by the sword, and ye become accursed like Sodom, and all your remnant as the sons of Amorah. I implore you, my sons, love the Elohim of heaven, and cleave ye to all his commandments, and walk not after their idols, and after their uncleanness, and make not for yourselves molten or graven Elohim, for they are vanity, and there is no Ruach in them. For they are the work of men's hands, and all who trust in them trust in nothing. Serve them not, nor worship them, but serve ye El Elyon, and worship him continually, and hope for his countenance always, and work uprightness and righteousness before him, that he may have pleasure in you, and grant you his mercy, and send rain upon you, morning and evening, and bless all your works which ye have wrought upon the earth, and bless your bread and your water, and bless the fruit of your womb, and the fruit of your land, and the herds of your cattle, and the flocks of your sheep. And ye will be for a blessing on the earth, and all nations of the earth will desire you, and bless your sons in my name, that they may be blessed as I am. And he gave to Yishmael, and to his sons, and those of Keturah, gifts, and sent them away from Yitzhak his son. And he gave everything to Yitzhak his son, and Yishmael and his sons, and the sons of Keturah and their sons, went together, and dwelt from Paran to the entering in of Babel, and all the land which is towards the east, facing the desert. And these mingled with each other, and their name was called Aravim and Yishmaelim. So they dispersed and started mingling with each other again. So, yeah, oops, keep hitting the wrong buttons. Yeah, it's a shorter episode today. Like I said, doing 3 videos this week took a lot out of me. But yes, I was gonna say something. Man, apologies. There's just so much in this book, so much information, so much to gain. And it's just, when you read it, you can see why they removed it. Because Satan wants to cause confusion and chaos and division. And this book clears a lot of the confusion about the calendars and many other things. And if people were to only take the time to just read it and actually go over it and study it, they would see this as well. It's just so much information, so much information. Thank you, Alyssa. Yeah, it's so much to gain from all these books. That's why just test everything for yourselves. I'll keep saying that always. Don't follow men. Don't follow doctrines of demons. Just follow what's written. It's all written down for us. There's too many people going around throwing out extra biblical books, apocryphal books, Paul's writings, even straight canonical books people are throwing out, and that's some biblical scholar who I just accepted his friend request like today, of course, comes on my post commenting how he's a biblical scholar and blase, like such and such. It was my post about veganism, how it's not Torah to be vegan. if you want to choose to be vegan, that's on you. That's fine. But you have to eat lamb on Passover. That's the command. Like, if you don't want to, that's on you. But I mean, that's between you and Yah. But anyways, this guy tried telling me, oh, it was the post in Timothy, First Timothy or something. He was trying to tell me, oh, these are fake New Testament scriptures, and they were added in such and such date and time. I was like, oh yeah. And how do you know this? Oh, I'm a biblical scholar and blah 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 blah, and just so I was like, oh, so you were trained by the Masons and Jesuits yourself, huh? Like, of course, he got mad at that and then just started typing in all caps, so I blocked him. It's just titles mean nothing. They don't mean anything to Yahweh. They don't mean anything to me. You can call yourself some doctorate, scholar, whatever you want to do. That doesn't mean you're smart. Doesn't even mean you know how to study. It means you know how to take orders from what they're telling you to do, what they tell you to study. Like, it just blows my mind. Thinking he was all high and mighty, holding his biblical scholarship title over me, and I was like, dude, my 6-year-old has dreams of revelation. Get out of here with your Masonic garbage. Like, anyway. Thank you for joining me this evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for those who show up regularly. I really appreciate all of you, honestly. Join me next weekend for Shabbat. We're going to do another part of First Maccabees, and then we'll do part 8 of Jubilees. Forgive me, I'm just tired this evening. Anyways, have a blessed evening, have a blessed week. Shalom, shalom, and thank you for tuning in.